各位大家好，在新年前呢，龙年到来之际呢，先给大家拜个早年，祝大家新的一年能够龙年吉祥，万事如意，龙马精神，龙腾虎跃。今天呢，还是老规矩，我们请来了我们的合伙人 Becky 先生来和大家分享一下关于英国的司法系统里边的一些案例和经验。我相信这些分享呢是非常有帮助且非常有意义的，因为大家会发现很多同胞们、很多朋友们、兄弟姐妹们、领导们在处理英国相关的法律事宜上的时候呢，相对都比较往后退，这可能是和大家和中国人的文化素养有关系，不惹事儿不找事儿。但是实际上在英国这么一个完整的健全的法律体系国家里边，应该坚决的用好自己手里的法律武器。所以说呢，我们今天呢就来和大家分享一个关于在英国和其他人和老外产生这种经济纠纷的时候应该如何处理。比如说我们今天要分享的一个案例呢，是我们处理过的一个案例，就是有一个兄弟买了东西，从英国的一个商人手里买了东西，但最后发现呢，他货不对版，比如说1000块钱的东西他卖了5000块钱。在这种情况下，我们如何维护自己的权益，把这被误销售的叫 mis-selling 或者是 misleading 的 sales 能够把这个钱 claim 回来。所以我们今天要分享的是一个 civil claim， 关于一个民事的一个纠纷，民事的一个诉讼，或者说民事的一个索赔。我们接下来有请 Mr. Becky Bafford 来和大家分享一下关于这个案例的具体事宜。我相信大家一定能从这个案例当中能够收获到很多有用的信息。接下来我们有請 Becky Bafford. So welcome, Becky.
Thank you.
Mr. Professor, the priest. Okay.
Thank you.
To share with us about the experience we mentioned, that civil claim. It was maybe 1 year ago, right? Roughly £20,000. That's the only thing I can remember. It's kind of very expensive luxury items he bought from one agent, sales agent. After that, he realized that there is something wrong, so he started to claim that money back, right? So would you mind share the experience or basic history, story, background?
Yeah, well, it's an interesting story. It was about a collector. And he purchased items from a seller over the internet. The seller was based in London.
Yeah.
And I think it had a WhatsApp group and sold various items using WhatsApp. And for many years, I think the collector had been a good customer of the person who ran the WhatsApp group, and had purchased many items with no problems, and spent a lot of money, and had a great deal of trust had developed between them, and as a result, the collector bought more and more expensive items, and for his collection, and then when he went to get his collection valued, took it to an expert for the purposes of insuring his collection. At that point, he discovered about, say, 10% of the items were not what they were claimed to be.
Okay. So the value decreased, right, from the perspective of the valuation expert, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So the collector realized then that because he had been buying only from this one dealer, that the dealer had not been completely straight with him and had sold him with the good quality items, some items which were not so good quality.
Okay. So how much was that claim dispute for between the seller and the collector?
Well, the collector had probably spent up to £200,000 building the collection.
£200,000. Wow.
But there was some £20,000 worth of items
undervalue,
which were no good.
Okay.
And so the collector took it up with the dealer on a first of all face to face, but found that the dealer wouldn't respond to his inquiries, his WhatsApp messages, his emails, or WeChat maybe. And so at that point, he decided to go to law, as it were. He came to see a lawyer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the process if someone else, face similar, difficult situation? So the first step is consultant, right? To get someone like you, expert, to give advice based on all the material or the evidence or the story or the WhatsApp record, to give a proper advice to identify how easy or how difficult to get the money back, right? That's step one. So after this, what's the legal step in terms of the process?
Well, in this instance, what we did was we issued a claim.
Issued a claim first?
Yeah, we issued a claim in the Central London County Court.
Okay.
And that was a process which can be handled relatively swiftly. Essentially, you file documents electronically online.
Online, okay, much easier.
Yep.
Right.
And so that put the dealer on notice that the collector was serious, because in order to start a claim, you have to pay a court fee.
Yeah.
And so obviously, if you pay a court fee, and then the claim is issued, then it tells the in that sense, it told the dealer that this was no longer something that he could ignore. It was serious, and now he had to get legal advice of his own
from his
lawyers. Yeah.
So what's that story? What's your experience in that particular case? So did the defendant, reply very quick, or they still keep ignore until next legal action? Well,
yeah. Surprising thing was that the dealer, notwithstanding that we'd brought the case, just ignored it.
Okay.
And so the next step then was to enter judgment.
Okay.
So that if the defendant, in this instance the dealer, chooses to ignore the claim, then you just claim judgment.
Okay.
And you enter judgment at the Central London County Court for the full £20,000.
For £20,000.
Yeah. And it was when the dealer realised that the collector had got judgment for £20,000.
Order.
Yeah. Order. You pay the £20,000, pay the costs.
Yeah.
At that point, the dealer took action.
Become serious.
So he got his own lawyers.
Okay.
And he had to apply to the court to set aside the judgment. So that was the first time when all the parties saw each other face to face outside the courtroom, very briefly, and then during the hearing.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And at the hearing, the dealer had to explain why it was that they had not put in a defense to the claim.
Yeah. What the excuse for them to didn't defend themselves in the first instance?
No, that during COVID.
Okay. COVID again.
Yes, there was a COVID excuse.
Okay.
They'd moved house and they hadn't been able to get their letters.
Okay.
Something of that kind.
But anyway, finally they agreed to pay back all the 100% of the claim, right?
Well, they didn't agree to do that automatically.
Okay.
What the judge said was, okay, well, look, we will let you fight the case again.
Okay.
Okay. But you're going to have to pay. You're going to have to pay the costs to the collector.
Yeah.
Because you allowed judgment to go unchallenged. So if you want to fight the case, you're going to have to pay the legal fees to date.
Yeah.
And then what that did was to reset a timetable, and we had to then itemize our claim in it's called the particulars of claim. And the sensible thing was that the collector took time and put in effort to include as much detail as possible. Yes. So working with me, we put together a very strong, very strong case and put it in a particulars of claim. And at that point, the dealer said, "Okay, look, I'll pay you the money. Don't worry about it."
Okay.
Yeah, because let's finish. Because it would have cost the dealer at that point, maybe £10,000.
Extra 10,000
just
to
fight. So at that point, they realized
yeah.
it's better just to pay the money now,
yeah.
And to try to limit the amount of costs which they would have to pay the successful collector.
That's right.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if he finally loses the case,
yep.
he has to pay, another extra
yeah.
10K or 20K.
Yeah, absolutely. If the claim was worth £20,000, which was 10% of the collection, then obviously if they lost, they'd have to pay that £20,000.
Well.
But they'd probably have to pay costs of about £20,000 on top. So it would be a 20,000 loss turning into £40,000. So yeah.
That's a good case.
Yeah, it's a good case.
With one key issue.
Yeah.
Sometimes most Chinese people ignore that issue and failed in that key point.
Yes.
Is the address.
Yes.
Most people, did something wrong on the internet, paid some money, it's difficult for them to find out who he paid for.
Yes.
Even in that scenario, okay, even you cannot send the notice of the court hearing to nowhere.
Yes.
So what we always to remind all our friends in Chinese community is, when you do business with someone you know. Okay?
Yes.
You know where they live, you
yes.
know where the children study. We are not threatening anyone, but at least we have something in hand to make sure our security of the transaction.
Very good. Very sensible.
That's the very important key point.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
What else do you think that be important in that kind of similar case?
Well, in this case, I think we won because of the preparation at the beginning.
Yeah.
So quite often what people hope is that it won't cost them money to begin a case.
Yeah.
They'll just fill out a form and just send it off.
Yeah.
And eventually it will, if it become expensive, it's going to become expensive. It'll be expensive at the end, when the trial takes place.
Yeah.
But obviously that's a mistake. The sensible thing to do is to spend the money at the beginning.
Yeah.
Make sure that the case is in the best possible, has the best possible start.
Will be much easier later, right?
Because it will put the other side in tremendous difficulty. If you file your case with all of the evidence in a lot of detail, then the other side won't be able to dismiss it. They will have to spend a great deal of money fighting the case.
To fight.
And at that point, they're going to ask themselves,
to settle.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very important. Number one, you get know someone you deal who are you dealing with.
Yes.
Number two is prepare before the court.
Prepare before the court.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
How long it took for this case, since we start the court online filing until we settle?
I'd say that was quite a quick one. That was about I'd say about 7 months.
7 months. You call it a quick one?
Yeah, that was very quick.
Okay.
Because as I say, that's settled without a trial. Because at the very outset, the money was spent putting the case in the best possible light, and the dealer realized that it would be too expensive to fight, and chose to settle almost immediately. When I say almost immediately, I do mean 6 months after the start of the case.
That'd be very good experience.
Yep.
So let me go back to our dear Chinese friends here. Okay.
Yes.
其实在这个案子里边，大家可以看到，其实最重要一点，就像我刚才用英文讲的一样，第一，你要知道你在跟谁做生意 ，OK， 不要跟陌生人玩，不要跟那些你不知名的或者说是没有 reference 的人去做这种大额的交易。比如说那些换钱，是我一直强调的，不要去跟陌生人换钱，出了问题找人都没有办法。特别是像这个兄弟买古董的时候。这个出现了问题，前几次都是货对版的，后几次人家货就不对版了。那这个时候你要去索赔也好，去诉讼也好，你首先得知道你索赔的对象是谁。所以说你要对人要知根知底，至少要有基本的能联络到的联络方式，这是第一点。第二点呢，贝克先生也提到一个非常重要的观点，就是要保留好所有的证据，你的转账证据、你的聊天证据，他承认或者不承认，他对货品的描述。中国人有时候，咱们中国人有时候做生意呢，就是没有合同，特别是像这种买古董一把手一过的这种没有合同，通常呢是在这个微信 或者 WhatsApp 里边聊，说这个东西是一个什么东西，对吧？在这种情况下，一定要保留好所有的证据，比如他认为这个是什么，你是否同意，他是否按这个价钱卖给你，按这个物品的价格卖给你。在这种情况下，保留相关的证据，到最后有专业的评估机构进来做评估的时候呢，你会有足够的能够拿上法庭的文件。这是第二点，大家需要注意的，保留好证据，而且一定要把提前量做好。当你真的决定要打官司的时候，不要拿着一堆纸过来找律师，而是先要把整个的故事大纲你自己先写下来。什么时候认识的，什么时候做的第一笔交易，什么时候做的第二笔交易，什么时候出现的问题，你是否尝试过追讨，追讨的答复是什么，最后的解决方案你们有没有同意。在这种情况下会省你很多时间，而且你整理整个证据链的过程当中呢，对于后期如果真的要开庭是有非常大的帮助的。当然我们希望所有的我们中国的这些朋友们都不要出现这种问题，但是一旦遇到这些问题，我希望大家能够第一，对英国的法律体系要有信心；第二，对自己要有信心。如果你是那个做坏事的人，抱歉，我也帮不了大家。如果说你认为你是被欺负的那个，你是那个应该被保护的那个，欢迎大家联络我们，添加我们的微信，我们可以具体情况具体分析。今天的分享就到这里，接下来我们还会陆续的分享更多的关于英国的民事、刑事、诉讼、商业、洗钱、反洗钱的各种案件的经验，欢迎大家关注我们。